Welcome to This Week in East Brunswick. Today we take the field with the East Brunswick High School varsity baseball team as they celebrate Senior Day before a recent home game. Al Nygren, the executive director and curator of the New Jersey International Film Festival, stops by the studio to provide an overview of the summer lineup. We visit Rutgers Gardens, where the director, Bruce Crawford, shares some tips about maintaining your hedges. Mayor Brad Cohn and Dr. Ken Friedman sit down in studio to talk about Walk with a Doc that will take place at Bicentennial Park, where residents can get some exercise while having an opportunity to discuss healthcare and wellness with Dr. Cohn. All this, plus we visit the East Brunswick Department on Aging as they hold the annual volunteer lunch, recognizing members of the community who continue to give back. So stay with us. This Week in East Brunswick starts now.
Bears on team, family on 6, 1, 2, 3.
The East Brunswick High School varsity baseball team recently held Senior Day to recognize the senior student athletes and manager, as well as their families. The Bears hosted Watchung Hills High School and scored 3 runs in the first inning and held on for a 4-3 victory behind a strong effort from starting pitcher Evan Long. Let's check out some of the action and meet the seniors.
Hello everyone, I'm Al Nygren, Executive Director and Curator of the New Jersey International Film Festival, and I'm here today to do an overview of the festival, which will be taking place between June 1st and June 10th on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday evenings. Saturdays are going to be kind of interesting because we have two programs, one at 5 o'clock and one at 7 o'clock, and then the Friday and Sunday programs will just be at 7 p.m. Each evening will be featuring a short or a series of shorts, followed by a feature film, a documentary or a feature film. And many of the screenings will have multiple filmmakers there because each screening will have a general Q&A session at the end of the evening. And it's a wonderful way for audience members to interact with filmmakers who have come from all over. We have 23 films that are going to be screened between those days, and they're vying for Best of awards, Best Feature, Best Documentary, Best Short Film, and there's a number of honorable mention winners as well. The opening program will take place on Friday, June 1st at 7 p.m., and all of our screenings will take place in Voorhees 105, that's Voorhees Hall, room 105, which is located at 71 Hamilton Street in New Brunswick, New Jersey. It's a beautiful space. It seats 250 people, has stadium seating, cushy chairs, high-definition projection system. It's really a nice space. And about a block away from the New Brunswick train station, so easy to get to. And there's lots of university parking lots that are available for you to park in right near the space at no charge. So our first screening is Friday, June 1st. We'll have 3 filmmaker interviews that'll follow here on EBTV in the coming weeks. And the very first one will be Headless Swans director Jordan Clay-J, and he's going to be here next week, so you can check him out. His neo-noir short film opens the program, followed by a really, really intense film called Bullitt County by David McCracken. He's from Los Angeles. And it features a bunch of drinking buddies who try to recreate the bourbon trail. They would go from bar to bar in Kentucky to sample their bourbon. And the film starts off as a buddy film and ends up into almost a psychological drama that takes on mystical proportions. So I hope you come and join us for that very first program. Josh Redford will be there, as well as Jordan will be there to do a Q&A on June 1st. Then the 5 p.m. show on Saturday, June 2nd, features our second filmmaker interview guest, which is Frank Zarillo, who did The Wrestler, a QT Marshall story about a wrestler who's trying to make it into the WWE. That's going to be the Saturday program. There's a short film by Kylie Easton called 43 Quintillion, which opens the program. Then the 7 o'clock program on Saturday, June 2nd, features some really, really amazing films. 2 shorts, In the Field by E.J. Argenio and Tesla Walker. It's a very timely film about a woman who's gunned down and a police-related shooting. Then you have You Are Here by Nicholas Jones about Tony Rogers, who's one of the front people for the great band The Charlatans, which is one of England's most famous bands over the last 20 years. And the highlight of that evening is a featured documentary about Vianney Otero, who goes by So Icy Trap. She's a rap singer, but she's so much more. This is a documentary about her life. It's one of the most beautiful documentaries I've ever seen. It's very stylistically done. And Marco Voronian from Helsinki, Finland, he's flying in from Finland to take questions and answers along with Vianney that evening. Really a very special occasion about a very special person who's gone through a lot in life, Vianney. That wraps up the program on Saturday, June 2nd. Then on Sunday, June 3rd, we have a series of wonderful films that kind of focus on dream. And the very first one is called Tell Me Something by Olivia Traynor. She's from San Francisco. It's a very, very beautiful film, very short, sweet film about dream. And then Martin Ponferda's film from Sydney, Australia, entitled Everything is Upstream, is really an amazing, unique film that's quasi-animation documentary about Buddhist monks who relay their own personal dreams, and he animates them. Really a really, really great film. The feature is called 306 Hollywood by Elan and Jonathan Bulgarian. Focuses on their grandmom who passes away, and they go through her stuff. It's an anthropological documentary that has magical realist tendencies. Both Elaine Elan, and Jonathan will be there to do a Q&A. Very touching film, recreating the life of their lost grandmom. A film that played at Sundance and is highly regarded. Then Friday, June 8th, we have a series of films that deal with fish and fishermen. The first is called The Fisherman by Anna Alpizar. She's actually from Miami, Florida, and her producer is from Bronx, New York, who's a past winner at our festival. He's going to be there to do a Q&A. Skin is by Alistair Boyce from London, England. He worked on Star Wars, one of the Star Wars films that came out recently, and this is a film also about a fisherman. And then the feature film hails from Salzburg, Austria. It's called The Best of All Worlds, and is based on a true story about a little boy, Adrian, who has to deal with his mom, who's kind of succumbing to drug addiction. And it's also a magical realist film. It's really pretty intense, but it's one of the strongest films we've ever shown at the festival, and we highly encourage you to come on Friday, June 8th. Saturday, June 9th, the 5 o'clock screening features a series of films that deal with children, and a lot of films are by Jersey filmmakers. The Magic of Reading by Claudia Moisset. She's flying in from LA, which is a wonderful, sweet film about kids wanting to read. Conflict by Barbara Holstein. She's a psychologist, and her film focuses on the trials and tribulations of kids growing up in the social media world. Mr. Jim by Jack Foley is a really sweet film, also about a widowed veteran. Bullies is one of the highlights of the festival, about a little kid who ends up in the basement of his school, grammar school, and finds all sorts of strange things there. And the feature film is Shellfish by J.D. Wilson, who's a Marine vet who's making a film that focuses also on social media and how it's impacted on kids. It's set in the future, but it's a very timely film that will be on Saturday, June 9th at 5 o'clock. Rounding the bend, on The Late Show, we have Goose and High Heels on Saturday, June 9th by John Dilworth, a very famous animator. And MDMA by Angie Wang focuses on a Jersey girl who ends up dealing ecstasy. MDMA is another name for ecstasy drug when she's at school. And this is also based on a true story. It stars Angie Q from HBO's The Leftovers and Francesca Eastwood, Clint Eastwood's daughter, who also is known for her role in Heroes Reborn, ABC's show. The last program is Sunday, June 10th. Crazy Hive, a film from Shanghai, China, is very crazy and a really wonderful comedy thriller. And the documentary that evening is Above the Drowning Sea. It's a documentary about Jews who fled Vienna, Austria, and ended up in Shanghai, China. And the third filmmaker interview will be focusing on this film, Above the Drowning Sea. That's our overview. You need more information, go to njfilmfest.com, click on where it says schedule for the New Jersey International Film Festival, and hope to see you at the screenings. We have a lot of great films, a lot of filmmakers coming. Thanks for listening. Have a great day.
So good morning and welcome back to Rutgers Gardens. Hedging is an interesting concept because everybody always says, well, we have to do a sheared hedge. And in New Jersey and North America, most gardeners sort of go towards evergreen hedges, whereas in Europe, deciduous hedges, plants which lose their leaves in the wintertime, are often quite popular. So next to me here is Cornelian cherry dogwood. This is Cornus officinalis, and it is a small tree, large shrub, but it really tolerates pruning well. And one of the nice things about it is it actually comes out in flower prior to forsythia, so it gives you an early blast of yellow flowers. And again, when most people think of a hedge, they don't really think of it flowering, whereas in this case, you have a nice shot of yellow flowers throughout late March and early part of April, so it really works well for that. People too, when they approach a hedge, they often take a pair of hedge shears to it. And when we're working on our hedges here, we actually do a lot of the pruning with hand pruners. And so a lot of people think that that's slow or very tedious and it takes too long. But the interesting thing about it is that when you make a cut and you remove your wood, you can actually then drop it into a container. So you don't have a lot of cleanup left behind. So even though the initial cutting process may take a little bit longer, the cleanup process is a lot quicker. In fact, it's almost non-existent. So this is one of the practices that we've been showing to our student interns that work here throughout the summer months. So I truly hope that you will come and visit the gardens, whether it's this spring, this summer, or this coming fall, even in the winter months, because we have cross-country skiing, provided we get a good snowfall. If we have a website, which is rutgersgardens.rutgers.edu, it features all of our facilities, our rentals, our programs that go on. And I also encourage you to become a member. So the Gardens is not entirely self-supporting. The university supports it, but in order for us to grow and to add new gardeners, membership really does make a difference and help. So, so please come out. If you're GPSing it, best address to use is 130 Log Cabin Road, and that will bring you right into the gardens. And if you're looking for a phone number, it's 732-932-8451. So looking forward to seeing you in the gardens.
Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Ken Friedman. What would you say would be one of the single most important lifestyle activities that contributes to better health and wellness? Well, the United States Surgeon General has just announced that it's walking. And because walking is so important to better health, the United States federal government has come up with a new program called Walk with a Doc. And the Chronic Disease Coalition of Middlesex and Union Counties participate within this program. I'm proud to announce with Mayor Cohen, who's with us today, that East Brunswick is going to be bringing the Walk with a Doc program to our township, and our first event is going to be on Sunday morning, June the 3rd, 8 a.m. at Bicentennial Park in East Brunswick. So, Mayor Cohen, you're going to be the first doc.
I'm the doc.
You know, to
Mayor and the doc.
You're the MD stands for Mayor and Doc now.
That's right.
You're going to do this program with us. So what made you decide to be the first doctor to do this? You know, you work hard all week long. I'm sure you'd probably rather sleep in with your family 8 o'clock in the morning, but you're going to be showing up and leading a big group of people to walk in Bicentennial. What made you decide to do this?
Well, first of all, I don't sleep till 8 o'clock in the morning. My internal clock gets me up usually about 5 every day anyway. So 8 o'clock, yeah, I must be something really, really wrong with me. But that having been said, before I became mayor, I was a doctor, and I'm still a doctor. So that's was clearly my passion for many years. And walking clearly is important, and it is part of a normal, healthy lifestyle. And way before fancy gyms and all of these interesting ways of expensive ways of doing exercise, you really don't need to do all of that if you really think about it. I have a grandmother that made it to 101 years of age. I have an aunt that just died last year, 106. I can guarantee you neither one of those birds ever walked into a fancy gym. They never did that, but they walked every day. My grandmother would park her car, which she drove up until age 92, right by her stairway to her third floor apartment, and she would walk every day. That wasn't official exercise, but it kept her active. She was a gardener. My aunt that made it to 106 lived in Brooklyn. She never had a driver's license. She walked everywhere. So I'm not saying that I'm guaranteeing you that you're going to make it to be a centenarian just by walking, but it is part of a healthy lifestyle. And for those people who really don't have the capacity or the ability to get to fancy gyms, or any gym for that matter, just get out and walk.
And while people walk with the doc gets to be able to discuss some important health information with the people that are there. What are some of the things that you're planning on talking about?
Well, my background, as most people know, I'm a gynecologist. So my focus is going to be on women's health care. And there's a lot that's going on in women's healthcare that's important. The fact that one, there's a lot of changes that have occurred in terms of screening intervals, and it's very confusing to people because it largely depends upon which body, which board you're reading. They're all different, and it can come very, very confusing to individuals. And sometimes when there's indications in specific classes where people need not do as frequent screening tests, doesn't necessarily mean that they shouldn't be visiting their doctor. And so it is very confusing. So I think helping to clear up some of that would do a lot of service for individuals who just don't understand or don't have access or are confused by the information they're getting. I think we're living in a world of information overload, and it's often hard to recognize what is real from fake, not to go political.
It's also tough to get access to a lot of physicians these days, and it's great that you're going to be available to be able to speak one-on-one with people who have questions.
We also live in a particular area where there's access, fortunately, to health care. There are many people that don't have that luck, and they live in parts of the country where getting to access of care is definitely constricted and more difficult. The other big issue that I think we should be talking about is the advances that have been made in genetics and the ability to try to individualize your treatment to those people who are at greater risk for certain diseases. But that means that they need to know what's out there. And as much as we learn new information, it changes that quickly. And so the dialogue needs to be something that's ongoing, not just once in a blue moon.
Well, I remember when you were running for mayor, we had discussed some of the things that were important to you, and one of the things that you mentioned was wellness within the town. So I really appreciate you stepping up and being the first doc to be able to volunteer and do this program with us. This is a free program. The entire community is invited to attend. All ages are welcome to come down. The Parks Department has laid out a beautiful route at gorgeous Bicentennial Park, one of our most beautiful parks in town. It's going to be 8 a.m. Again, come down. There's going to be representatives from the Middlesex County Health Department who will be there, who will be giving away free things for us. And there's going to be refreshments. And it's just going to be a beautiful way to spend a Sunday morning, 8 a.m., run about an hour to an hour and a half.
Right.
And you can get some terrific wellness information from our mayor and Dr. Brad Cohen. So we'll look forward to seeing you on Sunday, June the 3rd, 8 a.m. at Bicentennial Park, which is located at 180 Hardenberg Lane in East Brunswick. See you then.
Hi, I'm Sharon Riley Morosi, Assistant Director for the East Brunswick Department on Aging, and this is the Voice of Experience. I am here today at the Senior Center with the new Director of the Department on Aging, Danielle McCallie, and there is a special event going on. Danielle, tell us what's going on here today.
Absolutely. I'm so proud to be part of our annual Volunteer Recognition Luncheon. Once a year, we host a wonderful program and a wonderful lunch for our volunteers. It's the least we can do for all that they dedicate their time and efforts to here with us at the center. So I'm thrilled to be part of this, and a big round of applause and kudos to our volunteers, because we could not do this without them.
Can you tell us a little bit about the volunteer opportunities here at the Senior Center?
Sure. We have volunteers that may donate time and talent. We have people that lead different groups and programs here. We have other individuals that may volunteer for our senior meals program. We have volunteers for our front desk. You name it, and if you have a talent or something you'd like to share with us, come on down, and we'd love to have you.
On behalf of the mayor, the council, administration, and all the employees of the township and the residents, we can't thank you enough for your volunteerism. One thing when you get involved with municipal government, and I've worked in several neighboring towns, the theme that is common between all the towns is there's a lot of volunteers, people like yourself. And we don't say thank you enough to all of you who volunteer on a daily basis, a weekly basis, or whatever it might be. The world is a better place because of you. So hats off to all of you on behalf of Mayor Cohen, who is actually at a big mayor's meeting at this particular time, and the council. I once again want to express my sincere gratitude for your dedication to helping each other. Thank you very much.
Okay, so at this time, we are going to take a few moments to present some certificates of appreciation. And I just wanted to share a little poem with you, and I think it's completely appropriate for today. It's called "The Gift of Time is Priceless." Valuable is the work you do, outstanding and how you always come through. Loyal, sincere, and full of good cheer, untiring in your efforts throughout the year. Notable are the contributions you make, trustworthy in every project you take. Eager to reach your every goal, effective in the way you fulfill your role. Ready with a smile like a shining star, special and wonderful. That's what each of you are.
I share in the gratitude we have for our volunteers. If you would like more information about volunteer opportunities available through the East Brunswick Department on Aging and Senior Center, then please call us at 732-390-6896. And please remember, the East Brunswick Department on Aging is here to help you and yours age successfully.